We hear the term artificial intelligence all the time, right? And usually it brings to mind sci-fi movies or these really abstract, futuristic ideas. But today, we're going to talk about something much more immediate, much more fundamental. We're talking about survival. In this explainer, we're going to break down how AI isn't some distant buzzword. It's actually the essential tool for building organizations that are agile and resilient enough to make it in a world that is just constantly and unpredictably changing.
Okay, so let's start with a question, and I want you to really think about this for your own workplace. When something completely out of the blue happens, a sudden crisis, a massive opportunity, some kind of major disruption, what's the gut reaction? Is it panic? A kind of slow, grinding, painful adjustment? Or is it a quick, smart, decisive response? Honestly, how you answer that is really at the core of everything we're about to get into.
So to really get why agility is so important, we have to look at the world we're all operating in. Just think about modern supply chains for a second. These incredibly complex, globe-spanning webs that get a product from some raw material all the way to your front door. For years, they were built on one thing: predictability. Well, guess what? That model is completely broken. We are living in a world of constant, non-stop disruption.
So what does this disruption actually look like? Well, for one, you've got these insane demand spikes. A product goes viral on social media and boom, overnight, millions of people have to have it. Or a crazy heat wave hits and suddenly everyone's scrambling for air conditioners. These aren't the slow, predictable trends of the past. Nope. These are explosive, immediate shifts that can either make a company's entire year or completely shatter its supply chain. And then, of course, there's Mother Nature. A hurricane can shut down a major shipping port for weeks. A single blizzard can paralyze trucks across an entire continent. These events seem to be getting more frequent, more intense, and you know what? They really don't care about your quarterly projections or your shipping schedules. They can just stop the flow of goods in an instant.
And finally, there are the supply shortages. This one's a huge deal. A fire in one single factory making one tiny critical microchip can literally bring the global auto industry to its knees. A conflict halfway around the world can suddenly cut off access to a key material. All of a sudden, the very thing you need to make your product is just gone, and your whole operation grinds to a halt.
So, here's the bottom line. When you put all of that together, the demand spikes, the weather, the shortages, you get an environment that's defined by two words: uncertainty and volatility. This isn't the rare exception anymore. This is the new normal. Planning for the future isn't about guessing one single path forward. It's about being ready to navigate 1,000 different possible disruptions.
So if the world we live in is this chaotic, what's the answer? Well, the answer is what we call the mandate for agility. And I know, it can sound like just another corporate buzzword, but it's not. Right now, it is probably the single most critical capability an organization needs to have if it just wants to survive, let alone thrive.
Now, this definition seems simple enough, but all of its power is packed into one single word: rapidly. See, agility isn't just about being able to adapt. It's about being able to adapt at the same speed as the disruption itself. We're talking about the power to pivot, to reroute, to rethink your entire plan in hours or days, not the weeks or months that old-school systems would take. But let's be real. How on earth can any organization, especially a huge global one, possibly move that fast? Your teams, no matter how brilliant they are, simply cannot process that much chaotic information quickly enough to make the right call. And that, right there, is where technology comes in. Artificial intelligence is the engine that actually makes this kind of rapid-fire agility possible at scale. AI makes this happen through a really powerful two-step process. First up, real-time monitoring. An AI system can watch thousands of different data points all at once: weather systems, social media chatter, cargo ship locations, factory outputs. But it's not just watching, it's connecting the dots between things that seem totally unrelated. Then comes step two, the data-driven response. So for instance, the AI might see a product suddenly trending on social media in one city, and at the same time it sees inventory is low there, and it also sees a storm forming on the main shipping route. So instead of a manager just guessing what to do, the AI instantly recommends rerouting a specific shipment and moving stock from another warehouse, all based on a complete picture of the data, not just a hunch.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is what it does in practice. The core capability, as this quote says, is to respond instantly to those demand spikes, to the weather, to the shortages. AI is the tech that creates that direct, lightning-fast link between seeing a problem and deploying an intelligent solution.
Now, being agile like this, over time, builds into something even more important. It's not just about putting out today's fire. When you consistently use AI to handle these disruptions, you start to build a real long-term strategic advantage, and that is what we call the resilience dividend.
Put simply, resilience is your ability to take a punch and just keep moving forward. An AI-powered supply chain doesn't just react to one problem, it learns from every single one. Every disruption, every successful pivot, it all becomes new data that makes the whole system smarter. So over time, the entire operation gets stronger, tougher, and way less fragile. AI literally becomes a strategic tool for building a company that can handle shocks we can't even imagine yet.
This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's the whole evolution in one picture. Over on the left, you have the old way, slow, manual, and fragile. It's always one step behind, reacting to problems after the damage is already done. And on the right, you have the new way, an AI-enabled chain that is agile, totally data-driven, and ultimately resilient. It's really the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and being the master of your response.
So what is the big takeaway here? What's the ultimate outcome of making this change? Well, it all boils down to these three things. By embracing AI, your organization is in a much better position to survive the shocks that are definitely coming, to adapt to the new reality they create, and in the end, to compete way more effectively than everyone else who's still stuck in that old reactive model.
And that really brings us to our final thought. We've established that disruption isn't a possibility, it's a certainty. The only real question left is about preparation. So whether it's the next global pandemic, some game-changing new technology, or a sudden shift in what customers want, what is the disruption that your organization is getting ready for right now? And more importantly, does it have the agility and the resilience it needs to not just survive it, but to come out stronger on the other side?